things being equal, right? Say this Chinese AI thing turns out to be the real deal, and it's very early days, and I'm not a nerd, so I don't know. But the US's loss should be China's gain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Chinese markets should benefit from this, while US markets maybe come off a little bit. But the other thing is, say the Chinese AI thing, again, is the real deal. That cuts the cost for corporate America massively for implementing AI strategies into whatever it is that they do. Maybe they're banks, maybe they are healthcare providers, whatever it is, consumer companies. Maybe this opens up cheap, good quality technology for everybody.
It could be good for America.
It could.
Once they pick it apart and go, okay, no, that's how you do it.
It could ironically be really good for America. It just might not be so good for NVIDIA, which is the US chip maker. And that is problematic because it is a $3 trillion company.
But only recently, right?
Yeah, it came from nowhere.
Yeah,
and one of the things that, so there's a lot of people now who are like, oh, well, I always said there was going to be a risk to NVIDIA. And it's like, did you? Only I didn't hear you saying that last week. And then suddenly DeepSeek comes along and you're like, oh, Harry Hindsight over here. But it has been said in investment circles for quite a long time that the first mover advantage is real. And clearly, like NVIDIA has absolutely raked that in. But it's not normally the first company that like invents the railways that makes all of the money. It's the second, third, fourth, and it's all the companies that end up using the railways. And so there's nothing new under the sun, right? There's been a huge explosion in this one company. They've done an absolutely tremendous job, but it's not necessarily going to keep going in that same direction. The rise in the stocks has been absolutely explosive.
They had the right kind of graphics cards at the right time, didn't they? But like they've got serious competitors out there that will be trying to enter that market. It's so profitable that competition will flood into the market, right? Like,
Yeah, and I was at an event a little while ago, back end of last year, with a couple of Irish guys who were in the very vibrant Irish tech scene. And they were like, God, that Jensen Huang, right? He's like the chief exec of NVIDIA. They were like, we remember him from like events back in the day. NVIDIA was such a small time, poxy little company that he wasn't even allowed into the same parties as we were. And, and he's just kind of come from nowhere. And I'm like, yeah, but he's running a $3 trillion company and you're at an event with me in a private island. So
now you can't get into his event.
So it's pretty clear who has won this game. But it just goes to show, you think you know who the winners are going to be, and you really don't. And again, like that goes back to your point about like passive. Like if you think you can pick the individual stocks that are going to beat the market, best of luck to you. I wish you nothing but luck and wealth and happiness. But I'm here to tell you, you're going to find that very difficult because you just don't know where the dice are going to land. And passive investment, again, I will get emails from active investors. I'm very sorry. I love you all very dearly. But, the stock pickers, every year the stock pickers like, this is going to be the year for the stock picking.
If they're listening to this, they're punching themselves in the face because we have a go about, we talk about passive all the time. So
some of them really know what they're doing, the stock pickers. And I absolutely don't deny that for a moment. But for most people who want a low fee, dead cheap, really diversified investment, that's why passive has taken off as it has over the past 30 years. It's dead easy.
Imagine like Usain Bolt saying everyone should run under 100 meters under 10 seconds or whatever. It's like they're elite athletes of the sport, aren't they? They're fully immersed in it and they're obsessed, and they're saying like, you can do it. Yeah, great, you can do it. But 99% of people who have a day job and a life and the train's late, they haven't got the time to be really into the markets in that way and to value businesses.
It's really, really, really hard. It's hard to know who to pick, when to get in, how much to put into and each individual name, when to get out. If this is your idea of fun, then sure, have a little bit of a kind of individual company stock picking thing on the side of what you do with passive. But if you do well, then a large part of that will be down to luck.
Yeah. That was a clip from our full-length conversation with markets columnist from the FT, Katie Martin. You can watch the full episode right here.
It's lit.